Yeah. Room 740. Always considered the impossible something I could face. Pace is the range. I'm playing a whole different game. Scotch bonded in a peach tonic. Crossover like Iverson did. The world seen on phenom. Still got love for the kid. I go for eons, Dion's. That prime got you waiting.
Intros aren't supposed to be this long.
Summer's over and his presence on the floor type. Carry on tradition, what's the mission? Ben Wallace and Rashid, Princess C. Bills.
Normally I turn them down and I start the intro. I'm gonna just talk in silence and start it again. What up, y'all? For those of you who don't know, I'm Jake Asai. This show is called For the Record, and this gentleman here is
Phantom Thrett.
Slice beyond nice, deep dish still on the ice. That's blood on the canvas of life. Everything changed when I placed valleys above getting in the race. It's all time relative to taste. Y'all look like Puff but sound like Mace. I'd rather not.
Man, Phantom, man, what's good? How are you? What's the dealie?
Oh man, I'm blessed, man. I'm well, a lot better than I was a few months ago, man. Every day is a blessing. I'm honored. It's an honor to be here, for real.
Hey, it's an honor to have you here, and I'm glad you are here in a lot of different ways when I say that. Before we dig into why we're having this moment of beauty saying these things, I like to talk a little bit about who my guests are, my relationship with them, and why they're here. On For the Record, obviously, I sit down with recording artists of all ilks and backgrounds and popularity and clout. It doesn't really matter to me. It's just people that have music that has touched me in a way where it's worth me sitting down and not being fake. So, with that being said, me and you have known of each other's existence for, I'm not sure how long.
Roughly, at least 7-8 years.
7-8 years, okay. And I recognized you as a guy who was an ominous background floating guy that everyone knew and went, is that me? I feel like I'm the same type of person. So, when I talk to people, they know who you are. But at the same time, who are you? Like type shit, you know? So, I've always thought that was really dope about you. Has that always been intentional, or is that just a coincidence?
Well, it's in the name.
Phantom.
You know, Phantom Thrett. Like, everybody knows, you know, what I might be capable of, but the tricks are always up my sleeve, you know. At this point, I've done it long enough where it's like I'm in the shadows basically up until I had this accident. I'm like a whole different person.
So for people who don't know, you want to dive into that? Like, what happened to you? What was going on? Whatever details you can divulge, like, talk to me.
It's a long story. We got time. I was walking home from work, man. You know, I had moved to LA. I was in the IE forever, you know, growing up out here. I moved to LA, you know, for more opportunities, like financially, one could say. My line of work was always in the kitchen. You know, I was a chef.
Yeah.
Line cook, you know, kind of always doing my thing like that. When I moved to LA, I became a host, front of the house. My job was the host of an Italian restaurant, a fine dining Italian restaurant.
Okay.
In Venice.
Wow.
Yeah, called Forma. Yeah, so that, I mean, I learned a lot there. It was like the best job I ever had. And I was on foot all day long. You know, I lived in South Central, and I would make it to Venice on foot by either bus or train. So like for a year and a half, 2 years, I was walking 6 to 10 miles a day, every day. And one night, I'm walking home. I'm on the sidewalk. I'm not even crossing the street. Nothing. I don't even see this car. I hear it. And before I could do anything, I drove by the accident. Like when I got out the hospital and apparently I got thrusted into an iron gate. But it was a hit and run. Like the dude who hit me had stolen the car 3 days before. Meaning like the car had no insurance for 72 hours prior to me being hit. So, I mean, I haven't gotten that call yet. Yeah. But I mean, they got to call me and tell me that. And it's still up in the air.
Wow. So you've been kind of just on your own with it as far as everything goes.
Well, I mean, my family, man, like my mom, my sister, my girlfriend, like my Waju, like my brother.
Yeah.
I have the strongest support system, man. Without them, I mean, I would be nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, you went through something that, I mean, you told me not long ago, this is something where a lot of people wouldn't have survived this accident or this incident. Talk to me about exactly how severe, how bad was the accident? What happened to you? Why was it so bad? Why do you say that you shouldn't have survived it?
Left for dead. I mean, I don't even remember being in the ambulance at all. You know what I mean?
What time was it when this happened?
9:30.
9:30 at night?
PM.
Okay.
Around that time. Looking at my hospital records and stuff, my paperwork, I didn't get to there till like 2:30 in the emergency room. You know?
What?
Yeah. Like the first entrance, arrival, 2:30.
That is crazy.
So like, I don't...
That's 5 hours just gone.
Yeah.
What the hell, man? And so someone probably saw what happened and called 911 at some point, and
had to.
Yeah, and then you got in the ambulance. You ended up in the hospital. You're not in the ER until 4 or 5 hours later. Wow. And you've got multiple bones all over the place, broken, and I mean, for people who don't know, let me just play real quick.
My fly had the Camelot, Vegas in the 60s. Oceans in the
First line, first bar of this song is you going, room 740, which I've said like 20 times tonight. You end up in the hospital, and at the end of this record, for people who don't know, the song is called Rip Hamilton. You end this record with like a phone call where you're kind of reading off stuff. It sounds like you're reading it for the first time, and you're reading all the different ailments and issues and things the doctors have diagnosed already, and you're learning things that happen to you while you read it. You're like, I didn't even know that part happened.
I didn't know I had a seizure.
Yeah.
Like, what? You know?
Yeah. So, look, man, I would never guess how much happened to you just from today. Like us interacting today and talking and linking up and doing this. I would assume maybe you just had some broken bones. But you went through a lot, man. And where's your headspace at now?
Oh, man, I'm just thankful. Like, I had a very important doctor's appointment the other day. And, there are reminders that it's going to be a longer road than, like, I mean, energetically, I'm no longer in pain. Like, I could sleep a whole night through, no problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as living my life and day to day dealing with that, I can do this. I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a blessing to even be able to do this.
Yeah.
So if the whole taking my first steps and walking like I used to is like, that'll be the day.
Yeah.
But I can live like this, man.
Yeah. I mean, the beautiful part is you're a recording artist. One of your biggest passions and hobbies is something that you can do right now.
Yeah.
You put out maybe one of your best pieces of art in room 740. How does it feel to be able to say, like, man, like, I'm on the road to, I just entered the road to recovery, and I'm putting out things that are maybe some of my most proud moments.
Wow. Like, I was having this discussion with Waju the other day. It's like, you make a great album, you made it in the studio. Yeah, I mean, that's where people make great albums. In the studio.
Yeah.
No surprise there.
Yeah.
You made something dope in the hospital, all of a sudden, without even listening to it, you're more inclined.
Yeah.
You're more intrigued.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess it's more relatable. You know what I mean? And we were just trying things like Crudo. I haven't put out a song like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ain't going out like that. Same deal. That's me trying new things. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what I'm finding to be, like, inspiring and like fun right now. I'm just trying new things. You want that old shit? I can point to 21 albums.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? If you want that.
Where's your headspace at? Because after an instance like this, it changes you. It alters perspective. It alters our outlook on life and things like that, what can you say is different for you?
Overall, just appreciation. And I was living crazy, man. Just overworking myself. Not doing the important things. Not checking in with myself. Not keeping in touch with my loved ones. Just living a whole different way, you know, that I don't necessarily agree with. And now that I'm in this position, you know, a whole new perspective. Life is a lot slower.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that. Now.
It's perspective, man. When things move slower, we're able to look into the fine details better. You know, my first time kind of grasping this concept is actually in tennis. I teach tennis, and the sport, it's a very fast sport and a dynamic sport. You're running around a lot, and it looks, if you look at it with an untrained eye, it looks like guys are running left and right and hitting a ball up and down. It looks like ping pong. But what you don't know is if you slowed it down really slow, you'll see the articulation in the wrist, where the feet go, the dynamics of what are the odds if I hit a ball there, he'll hit a ball here. There's a lot of things that when you slow the game down, there's a lot of variables, a lot. And when you watch on TV, it's just boop, 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 boop. And that's how life is. You know, when life's going fast, it's wake up, go to work, go here, routine, crank. And every now and then I'll stop. Just because, right? And the first time I ever really felt my life slow is COVID. And COVID was an opportunity for all of us to go, ooh, in slow motion, things are a little different. You know, and people started creating or exercising or seeing the park, going traveling, going to the hiking. You know, because you can't go to the bar, you can't go to work, you can't do a lot of things.
That shit was fun. I had fun during COVID.
Oh, you and me both, because
I had a fucking blast.
You have to look in the mirror and really embrace what's there. Yeah. And you're like, I like this. And I found out I didn't find out a lot about myself, but I got to embrace who I am in slow motion. And I liked it. You know, I liked who I was. And I feel like you're getting like a second wind of that at a more exaggerated rate, which is going, oh, I don't have to make just that style of music. I'm capable of so much more. Yeah. And why am I not doing it? You know, and the next thing is, and this is something that I'll talk more about in a second, but it's when time slows down, who's still standing there next to you? You know, and who's still embracing me? Or how many people are embracing me? And maybe I didn't realize it before. Right. I don't know if we've ever had this conversation or not. I feel like we might have, but I've had 2 experiences where I was in accidents where time really stopped for me. When I'm not making music, I'm doing physical activity. Like, I'm a sports guy, a gym guy. Like, I love stimulation that's either artistic or physical. Okay. So I play all sports. I love every single sport there is. I love them all. I love going to the gym, and then I like making art. And I don't care what kind of art. I'll paint. I'll draw. You paint? I'm not good at it. Oh, okay. But like, you don't want to see it. I'm willing to, but you don't want to see it. But I do it. I do video, cinematography, music, cover art. There's a period in time where I did all my own cover art, all my own beats, wrote all my songs, mixed all my music. I did everything. Not because I'm good at it, just because I just love the process. And, you know, for me, it's one of these things where I feel like when time stops, you get an opportunity to really embrace the process a little bit. Yeah. I forgot where I was going with this.
No, I hear you though. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about you know, me getting my machine fixed. You know, the one that I've been.
Oh yeah.
My mom bought me that machine when I was 11 years old.
Really?
I'm 31 now. 20 years.
Your mom buying you a machine. For people who don't know what a machine is, please tell them what a machine is. Well, because it's not just a generic machine. This is an actual piece of art.
Yeah, it's a music production system. It's a Roland MV8000. You make beats on it. You can record on it. Your whole thing. You could even burn it onto a CD once you're done mixing and mastering it. Bounce it out like that. You know, I was. My mom bought me that machine when I was 11 years old,
which is crazy.
And that's the machine that I've recorded all my albums: Broken Winter, Loose Leaves, Eighth Life, Enigma. Every one of those albums up until Stone Rollin' at 740 was recorded on that machine. So it's I'm getting back to that. You know what I mean? It's been like a few years since I've recorded myself.
Yeah, which is bittersweet as a fan. Just so you know, I like Phantom not recording himself. Only because you're so crisp and modern sounding. It sounds so vibrant and new, and the other stuff sounds so for artists. You make a lot of art for artists in your catalog. You have a lot of music that I can enjoy, but a Taylor Swift fan will not like your other music. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not a bad thing, but it's just funny because and we were talking a little bit about another artist, True Lee, earlier.
Yeah.
And these are artists that make like music that is another artist can really dig into the richness of. There's layers to it. You know, you can hear it in the way it's recorded, the production style, the way it's mixed, all those things. And when you make music exclusively through a machine, you are not making it for the world to hear. You're making it for special people to hear.
Yeah. You know.
That's what I should say is a special ear to hear. But like the Room 740, like it sounds like a hybrid of that. It's got this unique, like an artist is going to embrace it a little different, but a regular person is going to go, wow. This is special. I
mean, Waju is really like executive producing this. He's making the beats too, but like the shit will not come out if he does not approve it. You know what I mean? And so there we're always going back and forth about what something should sound like, whatever. But that's him signing off on everything. Stone Rollin', he signed off on everything.
Yeah.
740, same deal.
So you got a lot of respect and trust in Waju.
He's my brother.
Yeah.
I mean, only him. That way.
Yeah. So he essentially came to the hospital, sat with you, and you guys cultivated projects, multiple. What was that process like? Like, what's that journey like?
Shit. I mean, at that moment, that was like my saving grace, you know? Like, music, that's my environment, you know, like the environment I'm most comfortable in, the environment that really gives me like where I could just be me, you know, free. I could be free. And so being in so much distress in the hospital, in pain, I was in pain. I mean, I still have bruises.
Yeah.
I still have bruises that haven't gone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, I was in so much pain, and for him to pull up on me almost every day. Some days we didn't even make music because I was on all types of drugs. I was all morphined up, all crazy. So, he just made sure that I was in a good space. Always.
Yeah, and that's special, man, because sitting in the hospital room, not making music, is you sitting with just the pains. That's it. Just the pains in your head and your own thoughts. And being able to get distracted or to even just vent and get out the feelings and what you're going through that's a game changer, man. Yeah. So big shout out to Waju.
Yeah. First track we did in the hospital is Life Gets Ill. It's the first song we did in the hospital.
Okay, I feel like we should play that, right?
Yeah.
Let me find it. Is that on Room 740?
It is.
Produced by Waju, right?
Yeah. The sample is, I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's off a cassette.
Cold feet, magnanimous claims, don't entertain inferior states of being. Craze hole stacks up, knowledge we attract like the opposite sex, procure the back rub. Presidents line the pockets, 8 balls call the shots, corners dressed, the hornet's nest is all flex. Where you can walk the same streets, you continue to bless. The rest is method in the ways that the people address the madness. Asking what happened. It's street sweepers and dry cleaners ironing out fine tailored suits. Leaves to the branches, hold strange fruits.
I don't want to stop your music when You sound like you're standing on your 2 feet, just going crazy, like in this project. This project, I love that albums are time capsules and put us back where we were in that moment. But I gotta be honest with you, man. This album makes me feel like you did not almost die. You sound full of life in this project.
Nah, for real.
Like it sounds like you are animated. You know.
I mean, yeah. Not to go too deep into it, but I wasn't doing too well.
Yeah.
Like the whole Enigma, There Is No Place for Grief, Eighth Life, those 3 albums in a row, I wasn't doing too hot.
Yeah.
Mentally and everything. That's why
These are the projects. What years are these projects from?
Well, Enigma is 2021, October.
Yeah.
There Is No Place for Grief was like January 22.
Yeah.
Eighth Life was 4th of July 22.
Okay.
I didn't drop another project till Stone Rollin', which came out in October of 23.
Yeah.
So just I wasn't doing well.
Yeah.
And so now, after getting basically a second chance at life and knowing that I'm gonna be okay, one day I'm gonna heal all the way.
Yeah.
It's like everything was just like you spent so much time worried about bullshit, shit that don't really matter. You know what I mean? Of course, I want to give it my all in my music and try to add some shit I never did before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're just sharper. Man, you're different. You're a different weapon. Like, you're not a sharpened weapon. You're a different one.
I'm using the same tools, different in a different way.
Yeah. It's crazy to see. I have 2 different instances. I think this is where I was going earlier, but I have 2 different instances in my life where time kind of stopped for a little bit. One where I broke my leg, and I was still in my infancy as far as making music goes. I wasn't good enough in music to channel it in the way that you did with Room 740. But the next time I fell from the top of like a waterfall, and I landed on like my neck and my head from like 25 feet, like super high up.
For real?
And I woke up laying in like the stream of water. I just woke up in it, didn't remember what happened. And I really feel like I cashed a check almost, and this is where we draw a parallel. I was going to the gym 5 days a week, playing tennis 4 days a week. I was exercising, like I was in incredible shape, 10 times better than I am right now. And, I feel like I cashed that fitness check. Like every little rep I ever did is the reason I survived this in a healthy manner. I didn't break any bones. I had like a hemorrhage in my skull where like I had a bleed in my skull.
Really?
And they're like, we can't even let you leave the hospital because you might not wake up if you fall asleep, and we just need to monitor you and stuff like that. And they're like, there's a possibility you go home tomorrow and there's nothing wrong. And there's another possibility that if you went home, you will take your last nap tonight type thing.
Oh, my God.
And they're telling me, like, the waterfall I fell from is a place where people have bones sticking out their hips when they fall. And people fall all the time from this waterfall, apparently, which is news to me.
Because they try to take pictures out of it or something?
Well, like, the way it works is this waterfall has a trail alongside it that leads you to the top of it. And you can get up to the top of this super high waterfall and just hang out up there. But what a lot of people don't take account for is there's so much moisture in the air because it's a waterfall. There's water floating everywhere. The rocks on the trail that lead you up are giant boulders like this big, and they're covered in what's called invisible moss. Ooh. I've never even heard of that until I apparently stepped on it. But this invisible moss or whatever it was, I'm wearing the shoes I played tennis in that morning. They're like bald.
No grip. Yeah.
No grip. I took a step on this stuff and I was like a cartoon. I was in the air, completely in the air when I stepped on this rock. And I woke up. That was the end.
That was it.
And yeah, man, I had such a severe concussion. I wasn't allowed to do any physical activity for 6 weeks. Like nothing.
6 weeks.
So like for a month and a half, they're like, you can't do anything. Just watch Netflix.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it. So I mean, I've never watched that much content or television or anything the way I did, and I was working on this project called Cassette Tape 3. And I literally rewrote the whole project while I was like this. You know, I changed everything. It was supposed to be like an indie alternative project. It turned into me just rapping about falling. And
the cover was that, right?
Yeah, literally.
I remember that.
Yeah, the cover is me falling off a bridge, which is like metaphorical. Because I didn't literally get on the album and be like, yo, I fell off a waterfall. How did I land? You know? But all the songs are like metaphorically involving the concept of falling. Whether it be like falling for things or falling for someone or different forms of trying to jump and take flight and what if you don't land? And, you know, it changed everything for me. And it also stopped time, man. Like, kind of like with you, I just had to stop and look around because I couldn't do any of the things I normally do. I wasn't going to work, wasn't playing sports, wasn't doing my passions. All I could do was music. That makes me wonder, Phantom Thrett at a 100% healthy and fit, who is he then?
I haven't seen that guy yet.
What are your guesses?
Shit. I mean, I kind of have an idea, and I know who that person is, but we ain't seen him yet.
I'm looking forward to it because first thing I heard after your incident was Rip Hamilton, and it made me think you was already walking. Like, so it just makes me think you're about to become. So there's another show I do called For the Radar, and it's I was talking to a guy on that show, and we were talking about a scenario where his dad got shot, and because his dad got shot, he could no longer be a highway patrolman, and his whole life took a pivot, and he started a construction company, and him starting that construction company caused him to be inspired to start his own business, customizing cars and stuff like that. And we were laughing about how sometimes people go, that happened for a reason. You got fired from that job for a reason. Or like, you know, like when you're like, yo, for a reason, like that didn't have to happen. But it almost makes me think with you, like, was the accident terrible? Is the outcome horrid? You know, can we look at it negatively and say that? Absolutely. But is the reason it happened going to create something that would have never happened without that incident? You know?
Yes.
Like you're going to become a person that couldn't have been created without what you went through.
Yeah. I really feel like it's crazy to say this, but I can't imagine my life without this accident.
Exactly.
Straight up and down.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I wanted you to say it, but
no, for real, I can't.
Yeah,
like this was supposed. It's
a defining moment. It was supposed to be. What do they call it? A canon moment is the new phrase for it. Like, no matter what universe of Phantom Thrett we're talking to, that moment happens because it's a defining moment in who Phantom Thrett is. And I think that it takes all the spread it out talent that you have all over the place, and it forces you to consolidate it into something concentrated. And what happens with it, each universe might be different. You know? But it's there now, it's here, and we get to weaponize it and do something with it. And I'm just so curious about what the next step is for you. And I'm glad I have records with this weapon that's in the room. Talk to me now. Let's talk about music. Like, let's get off of this epic incident that people are probably excited to hear you discuss. And let's just talk about you as a musician and artist. How would you define your style? And if someone wanted to know what kind of music you make, what would you say?
Shit. I mean, historically, if you were to like try to like describe it, it'd be like Wu-Tang and D'Angelo. Wu-Angelo. I feel like you've thought of that before. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's been said, it's been told to me. Yeah. You know? Like, and so, like, I agree. Like, if I was to really, like, but it's more than that, too. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, like, I view myself as a poet. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I mean, you are for sure.
I happen to sing. I happen to rap.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I'm really just getting my shit off. I write more than anything on paper. Like, just how I feel.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, there's that.
What's the creative process for you making a song? So, you want to make a record. What's step one? Do you need to have a beat in front of you?
Don't need to.
No?
No.
So, sometimes you write songs without a beat?
Mm-hmm. Like I just write verses to no beat.
Sometimes I have too, but do you have an internal BPM? Like,
yeah, like
because I do. Mine is like 93.
Yeah, like 87, 92, right within there.
Yeah. Oh, so we're very similar. That's so weird. Because my internal BPM like 90, 93. Just play anything. The verse will work.
Yeah.
And how often do you do it from that process versus hearing the beat?
Well, nowadays, I'm a lot more. I used to just make songs just to make songs and finish whatever I started, and just it was more about how many songs I could do.
Yeah. Versus
now, I'm very intentional, like getting supremely intentional, like I'm only doing it if it's this way.
Yeah.
And so there's that too.
What are some things intentional Phantom is looking for, requesting, or requiring? Like what are those things?
Right now, I've been having all this time kind of like listening to my old music, like the first tracks I laid down. Who was that guy? The spirit of that guy versus who I've become.
Yeah.
Merging those two together because they're two different people. And you know.
Yeah, like old Phantom Thrett is this guy who was recording into the machine. What do you rap about? What are you saying when you make music?
A lot of it is just being nice with it. Like I'm not saying anything crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just describing it crazy.
Yeah. So you're what's the phrasing? There's a phrase for it. But I'll not search for that on air. But you're focused on making sure the sauce is amazing. Which is one of my favorite things. We have a few artists in the area who have that, which is you mentioned one earlier, Stevie Crooks.
Oh, absolutely.
Like he's going to prioritize making sure that sauce goes crazy.
Yeah.
And you know,
garlic is fucking sliced with the razor. Razor thin fucking garlic.
Got the aioli going crazy.
Yeah.
And then you know what's funny is sometimes you hear artists who you like, he didn't care.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you know it's about I call it the word bank. You know, you could say something, but what words are you gonna pick to use to say it? And I talk to Cam about this a lot because Cam, he pulls words out his word bank where I'm like, how did you even have that word deposited in the bank to pull out?
Yeah.
You know, he has a song where he calls people callow. He's like, you can't do that, you're callow. And I was like, what rapper had that word ready in their back pocket? Like
he did.
But I have a lot of love and respect for artists who pull out unique words or describe things in an extravagant, unique way. And obviously, you do have references in a lot of your music when you're rapping. Like you'll get into a bag where you had a Pistons scheme.
Yeah,
you know,
started naming players.
Yeah. To me, I love to listen to rappers who use references because it tells me what they're kind of into or what they know about. You know, what are the banks of interest for you when it comes to references? Are you a movie guy? Are you a music guy? Are you an anime guy like Cam? Or?
Historically, definitely a basketball guy.
Yeah.
Definitely a food guy. Definitely, so like, I'm setting the scene. Like, sometimes the verse might be about a room I might want to walk into and how I might want it to look. And kind of that's how I'm describing. Everything is about that.
Yeah. So it's like the colors and the lighting and it could be anything.
How did it make me feel?
Yeah.
5 bars about that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Like, I like that. Do you consider yourself lyrical?
Nah.
No?
Nah. Like, I'm nice. I'm not lyrical. Like, I'm not like super wordy. I'm just nice.
And do people who hear you call you lyrical?
I don't know, because I haven't had these discussions like with people, like, or if I did, it's been years since I've had them. So like, I don't know.
Okay, because I feel like you are lyrical in some aspect, but people call lyrical different things. Like, it's a blanket statement people just throw on music. They're like, oh, that's lyrical. They just throw on stuff.
Yeah, like, is that really what you mean? Because when people say that, they might say that about me. I'm like, do you know what? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, like, what do you mean by that? That's that Drewski meme.
Yeah.
I consider you lyrical in some aspects. So I think that lyrical, this is how I would define it. You can, depending on the listener, we talk rhyme schemes, right? Depending on how you choose to rhyme words together can determine lyrical or not. Metaphors, like multiple meanings, and do you say something but it also means this over here? That could be lyrical. Then we talk about that word bank that we were talking about earlier, which is like, how deep in the bag do you dig when you say things, and how do you describe things?
I mean, that could be, lyrical. There's literary devices that writers use, or you can use, you know what I mean? Alliteration, like, I'm big with that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And so in some facets, you genuinely are a lyricist. You're lyrical.
You know?
And the fact that you acknowledge literary devices when you make music is... You're lyrical, you know, and I know you're going like, look, motherfucker, I ain't no Eminem when I make this shit.
But you know,
I
mean, I do take that into account. So.
Yeah, in your process, and it's undeniably present. I see it, I hear it, I respect it, I admire it, and even like when we talk about you saying the basketball scheme in Rip Hamilton, which is the song title caters to the scheme that you put in it. That's lyricism. Like, you're being lyrical. Like, you're so arrogant about it, you made the song title. You're like, these stupid idiots don't even know. You know, so like, I think, in my opinion, you are lyrical in some way. And I know, you know, me and you are both kind of nerdy with music. So you're like, look, I ain't going to go out there and just say it. But if you say it, all right, let's get it.
You know? Yeah.
What kind of music are you listening to in your free time? Like, can you give me like a list of artists that are the melting pot that makes you?
Man, these are the homies. But I've been really listening to Brain Story. Like, yo, yeah, like that whole...
I love Brain Story.
Yeah, like, they make amazing music. Like, the music that my parents grew up to. Like... You know?
Brain Story is incredible.
Yeah. So, like, shout out to them. They make, like, important, like, in the history of music of all time. They're there. They're right there. So, shout out to Brain Story.
I didn't know Brain Story was as big as they are.
They're fucking huge.
I didn't know that. So, Gnarly told me about Brain Story. And I was like, okay. I listened. I was like, yo, this is good. Yeah. I like this. You know, I just kind of listened, and then I like dug deeper, and I was like, oh, they're in Japan touring.
Yeah,
they're big.
Yeah, they're out of here.
Yeah, like they're not a secret. You know, they're accepted and loved. And then I dug deeper, and I accidentally found out I was listening to a Black Thought album, and
with L. Michaels Affair, they got the track on there.
Yes,
yeah,
it's a Brain Story record.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're like out of this universe already.
Yeah.
They're very established. And they're from the Inland Empire.
They're from Rialto.
Yeah. So just crazy because they make such good music. Yeah, that's crazy you mentioned that. Yeah, I'm a huge Brain Story fan. So shout out to them and that.
They're just in that new Freddie Gibbs movie too.
Are they?
Down with the King? Yeah, they got a scene in it. It's Brain Story.
Okay, I got to check that out.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, so shout out to Brain Story, but who else?
I've been listening to a lot of like So there's like a bunch of like channels putting out like content, I guess, in the form of there's just spinning records in their room. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people doing it. Mm-hmm. And I'm just kind of seeing this, getting into that space, seeing what's going on. Because, I used to own a record store.
Yeah.
And so...
You're a little closer to the mic, too.
I used to own a record store, so I'm kind of just paying attention to things like that. People playing records. What are they playing? How are they mixing it?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So what music cultivated your penmanship and your tone? Because your rap tone is very much like boom bap inspired.
Oh yeah.
And you heard that somewhere. There's someone that you heard and you was like, oh, he's doing it right.
Yeah, I mean, album wise, rap albums, Muddy Waters, Redman. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite rap albums. I mean, I grew up with that. Mm-hmm. Voodoo, Brown Sugar, D'Angelo. Mm-hmm. That right there informed, like, I mean, growing up, I copied his style to create mine. Mm-hmm. But I was like trying to sound like him.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
It's a lot of others, but
were you a Wu-Tang head?
I was.
Yeah.
I was a Wu head. I was crazy. Yeah, yeah.
I was too. I was crazy about Wu-Tang to the point where my first hip hop group ever made was called the Elite Hip Hop Swordsmen.
Was it?
It's a long name.
Mine was Lyrical Assassins.
Oh, so we
right
we
there.
got these weird parallels, man.
Yeah.
In my group, the only people you would know from it today is me and Nabi, and we're both in it.
Were you? Okay.
And we were like 16 or 15 or something.
Yeah.
And our covers, our artwork, everything was us drawn with swords and weapons like characters.
I didn't go that far.
No, we were terrible. And my group was like, I was ahead of my time with this part, but my members of my group were an artist, like a drawing guy, and then Nabi was obviously the producer. And I was just trying to bring in like all the people in the machine. Like our group wasn't just a bunch of rappers or vocalists. We had people who just did things that were unique or can contribute to the universe we were trying to make. And we had everything but an engineer. like we had no way to record a full record, and it's probably a good thing because those records were terrible. But man, I say all this to say we were just flipping Wu-Tang records at one point. Like we were copying like how they had Kung Fu Flick dialogue in between songs and like the dubbing, like Shaolin Wu-Tang style.
Yeah.
Are you ready to fight right now? Like, and then I would just start rapping or something, and it would be over like a Street Fighter sample. And we were doing the most, but man, like my style was really back then like got it over by Wu-Tang, and Lupe Fiasco was like where I got my lyricism from, and then Drake is where I got my packaging to make it sound like commercial friendly.
Food and Liquor or The Cool?
If we're gonna go sit through the whole album, The Cool. Mm-hmm. If we're gonna go, you can only pick 5 songs off one album and play those 5. Food and Liquor by light years. Yeah. By light years, bro. Because there's songs on Food and Liquor you can't even get that feeling from another song in hip hop. Like American Terrorist, like come on, man.
Yeah.
Like there ain't an American Terrorist on The Cool. There's not one. But The Cool taught me things I didn't know you can do with an album. Like how conceptual that album is. It's an album that you can play top to bottom and just kick back and enjoy it normal. Yeah. Or you can dig deep into it, and there's characters and concepts and layers and narratives that make all the songs relate to each other even if they don't sound alike. And Food and Liquor doesn't have that.
Right.
So
it's funny, like historically, some of my favorite people, just human beings, are fans of Lupe Fiasco.
Yeah. You have to be if you're really a student.
Yeah. Just like not even just a person. Like,
yeah.
If you're a Lupe fan, I could rock with you. Like more off, like 10 out of 10 times. Yeah. So respect.
Yeah. I man, he is one of the reasons I rap. I have one I'm less proud of, but Lupe Fiasco, Talib Kweli, and Ninth Wonder are why I rap today. And you know what's crazy is I was listening to this one Talib Kweli album. You can't see it on camera, but
I was looking at that.
Yeah, that Eardrum album. I discovered Ninth Wonder because of that album. That album has this female rapper named Jean Grey on it.
Yeah.
And Jean Grey, I was like, who is she?
Right.
Went to her. She has an album called Genius with Ninth Wonder.
Yeah.
My brain exploded after that because I discovered Ninth Wonder. I went through Murs, Little Brother. My whole entire style of... The reason my internal compass writes at 90 BPM...
Ninth Wonder?
Ninth Wonder. He's the reason. When I started making beats, I remember I hit up Nabi and I was like, what BPM do I use? He was like, just use 90, bro. I mean, like, my first 50 beats are all 90 BPM, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just safe. I think I made 3 albums at 90 BPM. The album, all 90 BPM. I didn't go to 91, didn't go to 89, 90. And it took me a long time to realize, okay, there's more to life than 90 BPM. But it's so safe.
What a great place to be.
Yeah.
9-0.
I see you. I feel like this should be a segue. Me and you have a song together.
We do.
I think it's the only one. It's the only one. But you and me were the first 2 people on this, and it's a posse cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and play.
When I got on it, there was no nobody else had. There was nothing. You didn't even record your verse, right?
Nope.
Okay, yeah.
You were the first person on this record. I don't remember if I had that beat we both wrote together that day, and you recorded yours and I recorded mine later.
Yeah.
So this song is called Only 9. This is the first time it's ever been played anywhere. Shout out to Oh Gosh Leotis. If you're really from the 9, you should say something. You really gotta grind if you came from it. Yeah, we on a different time, never ate nothing. It's really only 9 like a fake thug. People really thought we had a Drake budget, paid for the place that I paved, never prayed for. Graves dug on brothers really passed from this place, make you hate, but I really gotta breathe and take a break from it. Cuffed a bottle and drank one for the fallen. We came up from the bottom, they fade running a waterman, dog. My pot to piss and a switch and I'm moving different. I've shifted all of my capital after I got my confidence to really do what was needed without a consequence and get my pockets thick. I was on Arden Avenue and passing tree up, meaning with PhDs, it was me and speech in the streets. Now we gone like gallerias. It's a 9, yeah.
Fork in the road, decisions to make. Some of them bold, embrace the linear take. If I connect enough dots, mend enough plots, end to end, I see a pattern in my faults. But this the part where I take myself seriously. Might have said it before, but now I'm clearly the best version. Credit the excursions I booked, the chances I took, the rookie mistakes, they shake me up to be a fucking problem. I gotta balance it out, I'm also the solution, no doubt. Something's always brewing inside, and it's a fire I can never put out. It's 9-0. If you really from the 9, you should say I had never heard anyone say that before. It's 9-0. I was like, ooh, yeah, that sounded super hard. Where's your head at with the collaborative process? But because for a guy who's been around as long as you've been around, you do not have songs with all the people you've met and crossed paths with. Oh, nah. I'm more interested in meeting people. Yeah. Like, we're all artists. Mm-hmm. We're all artists. We all do the same shit. Mm-hmm. How are you as a person? Like, we can interact as a person. I've known people for years, and I love their music, but I'm not really interested in doing music with them. That's so funny to me. Just more interested in meeting them. Like, how are you? Because we have to coexist. Yeah. If there's a scene, we're all coexisting within that. So it's like, yeah, that's what I like about it. Yeah, I don't feel that way. Like, I feel you, but I don't feel that way. Like, for me, I love diving into how you tick and how you make what I like. And if I meet someone and I love their music, I want to exploit and dive in and pick it apart and dissect it and see the process of it being made. Mm-hmm. And then, as a person who's almost like an executive producer at heart, I want to see how we can bring that into another universe or what we can do. You know, when I hear your music, I go, okay, what if I did this with his style? Or what if I put him on this beat over here? And I have like a
a lifelong plan where I'm gonna like DJ Khaled an album, where like I'm gonna call in producers. I ain't gonna make I'm not gonna even make any beats. I'm just gonna bring in producers, make certain types of beats, and then bring in artists and put them on them, and do things that artist wouldn't do with their own album, or maybe they don't know a producer who would make that beat, and curate and create, because I just love the theories and ideas of bringing a Phantom Thrett, making him do a song with a Nicholas Gray.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or things like that. You know, like two artists who probably will never collide. Like, because you guys both get called for similar things, but you don't come together to do the same thing.
No.
You know, like, why would you guys, like, what would make you sit in the studio and go, you know who I need to call? You'll never make that call. But if someone else made the call, you're like, I'm down.
Yeah.
I respect it. I just don't need it. You know, like, so there's a part of me that's why I do these little posse cuts. Because I don't need 7 rappers on my album. But I like those 7 rappers, and I want them to come together.
What started the Bar Gods? Like,
so this is the premise of the Bar Gods concept, right? So OE is me, Cam Archer, Nicholas Gray, CJ Wesley as rappers. And then Oh Gosh Leotis, Nabi and his producers.
Yeah.
All of us are competitive MCs. So when we're all in the studio together, everyone wants to spar and make sure they show up on a record. Nobody wants to be that guy that didn't go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but we all agreed at the same time, when we're alone, the priority is making great songs. Mm-hmm. And that is not about how complicated can I rap or how dense can I rap. Mm-hmm. So we all agreed, when we're ready to rap for rappers, let's put all that energy into one song. And then let's make good music after that. Mm-hmm. You know, digestible, palatable, maybe pop rap or boom bap or whatever we do. But let's focus on the craft and not impressing other MCs. So the Bar Gods are like a outlet, you know, where we all come together and go, be as dense and ridiculous as possible. And some of us, like me and Cam, it's almost a bad habit. Like we call it sunroof rapping. Like we're trying to rap over your head as much as we can. You know, we're trying to be up here for literally an album length, if you would let us.
Sunroof rapping, that's great.
Yeah, but so me and Cam are on every single Bar God song because we love the process.
Yeah.
Nick and CJ, they love that kind of rap as much as they love pop music. So they'll do a little bit of both happily. But so Bar Gods is really just an outlet so that we're not doing that across the whole album. And we can, if you listen to my album, you will respect me as a rapper, and you'll also recognize I can make songs. Mm-hmm. And that's literally their purpose. So that's why I think me and Cam do a pretty good job of, usually if we come together on records, you'll realize like, wow, they didn't really spar on that song. They didn't go crazy unless it's called Bar Gods.
So people are looking for it at this
point.
point.
Yeah. So those songs, there's technically 5 in existence. Only Bar Gods 1, 3, 4, and 5 are out. Bar Gods 2 is this mystical thing that is not anywhere because it's still in my Pro Tools.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a story behind that, but
okay,
it doesn't exist.
That's on purpose for sure.
We skipped it because it exists. So like Bar Gods 1 is on Cam's Cocomania album. And then Bar Gods 3 is on an album that never hit streaming services, but there's a music video on YouTube for it. Mm-hmm. Bar Gods 4 is on a Cam album. Bar Gods 5 is on the OE album. Bar Gods 6 is supposed to be on a project of mine. I don't know what's going to happen with it. But yeah, man, those are definitely us just trying to rap out of our minds. How many triple entendres can you fit? How complex is your rhyme scheme? How many literary devices did you use in one verse? How many themes? I had the NBA reference here. You didn't even catch the soccer references inside it. You know, like we're doing that kind of stuff and not explaining nothing to nobody. Just putting it out and going, dive into it or don't. You know.
Yeah.
And then the very next song is like Drake-esque with like it just melodic and punchlines. You know, so people, I don't know what our perception is to people, but we know what we can do, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But do you listen to music like that, or do you make music like that ever, where it's very much you just MCing for MCs?
Well, not anymore.
No.
I am still in the group, OSA. And that's me, Waju, Andre DeMar, David May, and Visas.
Okay.
Vince Moore. So that's 5 MCs, and we got Chris Charles, a producer. Waju is producer as well. I make beats for OSA as well. But we have an album that we made, and primarily like we were signed to Black Cloud Music. Like, OSA was like a group, like Black Cloud. Fucking, it was crazy.
That's crazy to hear.
Yeah.
I have a story for you that I've been waiting to tell you. I waited till this episode started. So, you or Waju, one of you posted online, damn, we're going to put out an album. Like, we're going to do it. You said that in 2021, maybe?
Yeah.
You posted that. Like, we're going to finally make an album.
It's the same album I'm talking about. It's done. It's been done.
Yeah. Cam hit me up after he saw you say that. And he was like, there's a fire under our asses right now, because if they're going to put out a collective album and they found a way to get everyone together, put something together, make it and produce it, and we don't as OE, there's a problem.
Yeah.
So I was like, so what we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to make a group album. And you guys are the reason. You are the reason there's an OE album.
Shit. Yeah.
And it's from you posting that and Cam hitting me up and saying, like, we need to get that under our belt as well before it's too late.
Yeah.
And because of you, all of OE came together. We blocked out 7 straight days, and we camped out, and we made 25 straight songs in 7 days. And the project's like 13 songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are responsible for its inception.
That's great, man.
Yeah. So I played you a few from it earlier today, but yeah, man.
I mean, OE is a bunch of spitters. Like OSA, same deal. That's why we started while we were all in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're grown ass men now.
It's crazy.
And the fact that we're all still, cause we found time to do this as grown men.
It's hard to do.
You know, we started it before anybody had a solo album out. We were OSA. So like, you know, we made sure that we did something about that. And then that album is done. It'll drop, I think, this year, 2024. If not early next year, but it's done.
What are you guys waiting for?
Mixing and mastering. Like we're talking about like Rick Rubin levels. No fuck, like the person who handles all this shit is like from scratch, no presets, nothing, everything dialed to the fucking yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it might take a year to get an album back.
Okay. Damn. So I know Waju, I know David May. I think I know, what was his name? Chris what?
Well, Chris Charles is a producer.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Beach.
I think I've met him before.
Yeah.
You guys all went to high school together?
Yeah, all of us. Andre DeMar. You met Andre DeMar?
I don't think so.
Nah. Yeah, he's an amazing spitter.
Yeah.
And Vince Moore. Vince Moore, I mean, you know, people probably don't know him. He hasn't been out as much. But he's just as lethal as anybody else in the group. So that's one thing is OSA. Like, that's one thing about us.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear that, because I know you and Waju. I don't know Waju like I know you, but I've been in the same places as Waju a billion times. And I've always liked his music, and in my opinion, he has the best music video catalog in the Inland Empire.
By far.
It's not close.
It's not close.
And I don't understand why.
He's always had a vision. I mean, there's a video out that it's not even on YouTube anymore. Nobody can find it. But this dude was rapping underwater. This dude was underwater in 2009 with a band, with the full band. Like, and that video is not, but that exists. I just want to let that's out there. Waju has the best fucking video catalog of all time as far as local artists in the IE. Stamped. For me, you heard it from me.
Yeah, what the hell? Like, I have so many questions for him because of that. You know, even his videos I hadn't seen, Windy, that video is crazy. The song You're On is the best video to come out the IE.
If you want it, yeah.
If you want it, that video is a masterpiece. And it's disrespectfully good, because you don't know it's about to be a masterpiece until you're halfway in. Yeah. You're like, oh.
That's his whole bag. Like, it's going to get even crazier because, like, at some point, Waju's going to be directing these videos. Like, he's getting in that bag. So, Yeah.
You guys are anomalies for this. What is the end goal for your journey?
Oh man, to be determined, man. It's fucking. All I know is that I'm gonna keep. Like, if I have 21 albums now, we look up again in 10 years, I'm gonna have 41.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Yeah.
I'm a cook. Like, I'm a chef. Like, that's what I fucking do.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. And
time out. Hold on for a second, because you're a chef and a cook. What does it take for me to experience this part of Phantom Thrett?
Oh man, I got. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've always wanted to do a pop up. Before I opened Serious Cartoons, I was a taquero for 6 years. We had a family business, and I was a taco man.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what started it all. You know.
Okay, go. I don't know if I took you off track mentally, but continue with what you were saying.
I'm thinking about, like, I'm putting menus together, trying to do like a pop up wherever I can do it, and kind of we're just figuring out the logistics, you know, because I am still in a wheelchair, kind of hard to move around and cook, you know, let alone be in the kitchen. So there's that, but coming soon. I got, you know, that will be happening.
I will be there for sure.
Hell yeah.
If there's I don't have an addictive personality. I have an obsessive personality. And what that means for me is I don't get really addicted to things to the point where if it's detrimental to me, I'll keep doing it. But if I like something, I'm going to get everything out of it I can until I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
So if you make some good food, I'm gonna eat it till it's nasty. You know, and I have the only thing I might be an addict for is food. Like, I love food.
Yeah, man.
Like, considering, like, when I tell you I'm probably the most active person you know, right. I don't look like it because I eat so much food. I eat so many calories a day. And my exercise just keeps me looking kind of normal. Because I eat more than anybody you know. Yeah. But the fact that you have this side of you that I didn't know about, I knew where you worked and stuff like that in the past, but I didn't realize, like, you get down.
I get down. Yeah. I get down for real. Like,
talk to me about food for a minute. Like, what are your, obviously you made tacos.
Yeah.
But you worked at Alfredo's?
I worked at Alfredo's. I was the pizza man at Alfredo's.
And then you were at an Italian fine dining restaurant as the host, which means you were still in the Italian realm. Talk to me about food. Like, what are your favorite kinds of food?
Italian. Like, I lean towards that. As far as even cooking and anything, like, that's what I do.
If you ever want to see me perk up in happiness, just say the word pesto.
Oh, okay. You get down with the pesto.
I do pesto on everything.
Okay.
Grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah. Okay.
Run that pesto. It's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. Which is funny because, I mean, this pop-up that I want to do is I have 5 different sandwiches on the menu that I want to create. One of them is a pesto-based sandwich. So
you already have my money.
Yeah. So it's gonna happen.
Okay. Tell me how I can help. Like, let's make this happen. That's crazy to hear. Is your end goal, like, could you imagine maybe having like a restaurant with a stage in it and a studio or something like that?
Wow. No. I don't. I want to work and I want to live separately.
Got you.
I want to have my life at home. And I want to do my music, you know, because I think that's 2 separate things. Yeah. You know, I want to be a family man, like, as well. Like, you know, and that's its own thing. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could blend it all together. Yeah. But some things are for the home.
Right. And I don't take you as a guy who's just a fan of everybody. So I think that people who do like venue type stuff have to love everybody's music, and you are not that guy.
No, I mean, we did it at Serious Cartoons. I lived there. Yeah. We were open for 4 years. I lived there for 4 years. So like, that was my home. Like, as we closed, I was sleeping there.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So like, you know,
you got your taste already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What was that experience like, owning a record store and living at the record store?
Oh man, it was my dream. It was like, everything I ever wanted to do, you know? I was a kid in my parents' garage playing like I had a fake radio station. I was set up, you know, have my morning coffee, have a fake little mic set up, and I was a fucking DJ on the radio, like pretending, you know? 8 years old doing this shit.
You're literally, this is built into you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you know?
crazy.
I found my way in it and I stayed here, you know?
You got a machine at 11.
Yeah.
You did radio for fun at 8.
Yeah.
I didn't even pretend to make music till I was like 15. Like, so, it's so crazy to hear someone like you who's just kind of, it's been in your bones for so long.
Yeah.
Having a record store where you guys essentially hosted pretty much anyone in IE who needed a platform, you guys kind of provided it for a stint of time. I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty a little bit here and say, like, sometimes this music sucked. What is that experience like for you? Where maybe it's people, you're not a big fan of the music, or maybe, I don't even want to say it sucked. I want to say it's not your cup of tea. What is that process and that learning experience like for you as far as seeing it up close and experiencing it and being a platform for all these different lanes and stuff like that? Did you start becoming a fan of new people, or?
The most important thing was that we were a neighborhood record store. The fact that we offered that space to begin with. So you had to take yourself out of it. I knew that was part of the responsibility of being the neighborhood record store owner. That was providing local shows. I couldn't just do what I wanted to do only. You know, I had people hitting me up that I didn't even know. Oh, there's little local punk shows, like for real. Okay, y'all want to do something here? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like that. It was a space for everybody.
That's dope.
You know, that's why, you know, so many people loved it. You know, it was you know. It was
and as a record store owner, how much music that you never would have experienced did you experience? Was it a big thing?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day was. We were always getting new records in. You know what I mean? Like we had distributors, so like. Every week we would get a sheet that we could order from, and we were just looking at things like, okay, let's order this. That looks interesting. Let's order that. Yeah. And it was like the best time of my life, you know? Like, I worked at a record store. I lived it. I was the owner of it for 4 years, and it was like the coolest shit. Nobody could tell me nothing. That's the fuck.
How profitable of a business is owning a record store?
None. I made no money. I made zero money. In fact, Serious Cartoons never had a cash register, if you noticed.
Yeah.
It was always, people paid us in hand.
Yeah.
You know? And we put it away.
Wow. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it was, because it was not about that.
Yeah.
You wanted to buy a record, yeah, you know who to come talk to about it.
Yeah.
But it was like just the space.
Wow. I'm into records. You know what's funny is I don't really play records because I'm such a techie guy also and a music guy. So I buy records, but I don't usually use the records. I just stream and play stuff in high fidelity. But I've discovered a lot of music because of the sampling process and digging crates and stuff like that. Do you have any favorite artists that you discovered just through the crate process and being in the studio, or not the studio, the record store?
Oh man, so many. Yeah. And this is just like one of my favorite artists in general. Like I never really had like physical media of this guy. But are you familiar with Count Bass D? One of my favorite rappers, producers, like of all time. Yeah. His first album came out in 1995 on Columbia or some shit. And you know he's still dropping records to this day on Bandcamp. Like super independent. Yeah. Like
wow.
Count Bass D. He's a fucking. He did songs with MF Doom.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He's
so
on.
Maybe I have heard him.
He's on Potholders.
Oh yeah, so I've heard him before.
Yeah, he's on Potholders. The second verse. I try to be humble, lest I stumble.
Yeah. I try to be humble, lest I stumble. I definitely know that verse.
That's Count Bass.
Okay, so I have heard him. Interesting. I know a guy named The Count, but
the producer.
Yeah, but not Count Bass.
Count Bass D, like not Count Basie.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out because I actually like that verse.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah. Hot shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Good
One of my favorite artists of all time.
Really?
Yeah, Count Bass D. Yeah. It's crazy writer. You know, he was actually born on the day that they did like the first hip hop party.
Really?
That day, the day hip hop was born. He was
okay,
born
I'm gonna have to do research because if he's active making music still, and I love his cadence on that song, like his voice and style are very dope.
He's definitely still active.
Okay,
he just dropped the album called Walter Dwight.
If this weren't your episode, I'd play a song, but I'm not going to. So what I think of when I think of like record stores and listening to artists I wouldn't have listened to, I think of like the Manhattan Transfer.
Ooh, yeah.
I think of Ahmad Jamal. Mm-hmm. I think of
Weather Report.
Yeah, like that's the stuff that.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy shit.
Yeah, super crazy. And that's music that to me, I ask myself, what are we making in this generation, in this era? That is that. Do you think we are?
Well, the thing about it, like, it might be getting made and it might be being released via short form content on Instagram, but it's not being like put out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is being made though. Yeah, it is being made. Yeah, how you're receiving it, if you're receiving it, how it's being released, that's all up in the air.
I think of like the Tom Mishes, the Bad Bad Not Goods, who are the children of that music. You know, like they're making jazz. They're collaborating with some of the modern hip hop artists, but they're also just making music. Yeah. And I just wonder, you know, like, is that the future? Is that the future of Ahmad Jamal's? Is that the future Manhattan Transfers? All these groups that they probably didn't even know what we were going to do with their music in 30 years, 40, 50, 60 years. Crazy. But yeah, I feel like you're a crate digging specialist at this point. You own a record store. Yeah. And when you produce, do you sample mostly?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I do have original beats. Yeah. I have hardware specifically for that. A Korg EMX Electribe, the OG joint with the Russian fucking tubes in it. Yeah.
Do you have, like, when you sample, do you crate dig each time, or do you kind of just know, like, okay, let me go over here and pull this out?
I mean, I do have records still, I have a lot of inventory that was left over from the shop. Not to say that I go through those now, because those are in, like, storage. So now I'm kind of just sampling off of, like, whatever I can find, you know? But, yeah, man, you know? Okay. But I'm getting back into this bag now. Yeah. After, like, I've been recording with Waju primarily for the past 2 years almost. Yeah. Just that.
Yeah, and obviously your machine wasn't working.
No.
So now it is. That's incentive to produce, jump in the crates, and
exactly.
Okay. I think that's pretty much everything I got for you, man. Anything else you want to get off?
God bless. You know what I mean? Every day is a blessing. You know what I mean?
OSA album coming soon. Any more Phantom Thrett solo stuff coming soon?
Yeah, I got an album with Cast One on the way. Okay. I got another album with Waju. Basically, me and him are doing a trilogy. We got a live version of Stone Rollin'. Definitely gonna start pushing Stone, because Stone Rollin' was released on Bandcamp only. It was gonna be released on streaming, but we pulled it. We deleted it actually, and that's coming out this year again, re-release. And then we got an album called Elegante coming on the way. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I do have music coming on the way. I have a big back catalog to push though. There's a lot of songs that I have that have not been heard the way they should have been heard, or you know what I mean? So
before, I guess we're not going to end this episode yet. You're a guy who's been super active and super busy with making music, producing music, putting music out, but not putting it through the channels that have the largest audiences. You've changed that. Because for people who don't know, me and you did a For the Record you might be the first ever For the Record episode.
Wow.
And we just, it didn't come out because of me. Like, I had hardware issues with the camera. But this one's coming out, and I have questions for you about that. Why now? Because back then I was yelling at you because you weren't putting music out correctly.
No.
And you're making good music.
Yeah.
Now you're making good music and you're putting it out right. What changed?
Just the mentality.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like Bandcamp only for many, many years. Mm-hmm. To my own detriment, one might say.
Yeah.
You know, so being honest with myself.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, I'm just being honest with myself in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is I don't think you were necessarily, I don't think wrong is the right word for what it was that you were doing. Mm-hmm. I think that there's a process that has to be gone through, because Bandcamp is the best way in some facets, but it has the smallest audience.
Yeah.
And for a guy like you who's making music that maybe deserves extra exposure, maybe it deserves to cross over into another platform and cross promote, you know, and float in the world of people who are wandering and just looking for music, because Bandcamp's not really that. Bandcamp is, I want to support you, so I'm going to go to where you tell me to go.
Yeah, like the same people have a Patreon. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like a rapper's Patreon, but people get sent to Patreon from the platform that everyone is on, and you weren't on that for music. So I do think that how you put Stone Rolling there and how you have music there is good. But I do think that a lot of people are forgetting that you still got to get the people to go there from somewhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that you're doing streaming.
For sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, the whole fucking world is on streaming, you know?
Yeah.
Why take myself out of that pool?
Mm-hmm. It's the commercial to go send them to the movie theater,
which is
Bandcamp.
Yeah, I've had people pay me directly for an album. That's always on the table.
Yeah.
But like, here's this too, I guess. Nowadays, fuck it. You can have it too.
Yeah. Okay. Damn, man. That's beautiful. Here's my thing with Bandcamp. I love Bandcamp, but when I'm in the car, I'm not using Bandcamp.
That for many years, they had a very shitty app.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy to do so.
Yeah, and I haven't tried to revisit since back then, so I don't know what it's like now. And that's coming from an artist.
It's better.
It's better.
It's better. Okay. Might not be the best, but it's better than it was.
Yeah. So I thought that the happy medium was putting out music on YouTube and Bandcamp only, so people can use YouTube, and if they like it, they could buy it on Bandcamp. But I think Spotify and Apple Music are important.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
for now, unfortunately, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, who the fuck knows what it will be? You know, next year.
I hope it changes.
Yeah, who knows?
But I think with that being said, do I have anything else for you?
We got the show on the 27th. This will be out way after then, but. We got the show coming up with Murs, Cam Gnarly, Truly, Silva and Gold, Zay.
Did you curate that?
Yes, I did. I put that lineup together. No one made the Murs call. Murs agreed. Big bro. Thank you so much. I'm forever grateful for this.
Yeah.
But Noah asked me if who I wanted to be a part of this. And it was kind of the music I wanted the people that, whose music I look up to. I listen to it. And it's, we're all together in one building. Sonically, it's going to be an amazing show.
It's amazing to even plan it that way. That's the only way to do a show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like when I do shows, I no longer just get booked for shows and just go. Like,
no.
I don't do it anymore. I paid my dues. I did anywhere I can get a platform, anywhere I can rap, I'll do it. I did that for a long time, man. And eventually you just start going, this wasn't worth it, or this wasn't what I wanted it to be. This isn't how I want my art to be showcased to people for the first time. This isn't the environment or the energy I want my music to be showcased to people in. And you start being a little more protective of it.
Yeah.
So for me, the deal I made with myself was either you take charge of it and you curate it to be what you want it to be, or you open up for someone that you're a fan of to the point that you respect their curation.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'll open up for someone I'm a fan of, or even if I'm not the headliner, I'm curating it. Mm-hmm. And those are the only ways I perform now. And I do shows once a year. So obviously I'm probably getting ahead of myself by being that way. But man, it just makes me so proud of when I promote a show.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, trust me, you want to be there.
It's an experience.
It's going to be an experience, because how many shows do we go to now where there's 10 acts and you came for one?
Yeah.
And you're sitting through some, you see yours and you bounce.
None of it is aligned.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
It's just not the way it used to be. And this isn't even me talking local shows. This is even when you buy a ticket to a big act, you know, or an act you're a fan of, and you go to LA and they got 10 openers that paid to play, and you wait till 11:30 at night to see someone perform or something. It's just terrible, man. The experience is not there. And I went to a few other shows for different genres.
Yeah.
And there's this band called Yellow Days. Love their music. They kind of, they're not like Brain Story, but it's in that pocket of uniqueness that's rich. You need to listen to it badly.
Okay. Yellow Days?
Yellow Days, yeah. And you know what? There's a show in Pioneer Town, which is...
I fucking love Pioneer Town. What is it? Pappy and Harriet's?
Yeah, that's where it's going to be at.
Yeah?
I'll see you there.
Okay, yeah.
So, Yellow Days is performing there. Shameless plug, I guess. But I say that to say I go to some of these shows for those kind of groups. They have 2 openers. And it's people that they think make great music, but maybe just don't have the fans they have.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is sometimes the opener is better than the headliner. Just one has more fans than the other.
Right.
So you might get blessed going to their shows and getting exposed to who they're a fan of, because they're going, I want them to blow up like me. I want my fans to hear them.
Yeah.
And these hip hop shows don't have that culture. They're not bringing in the true lease.
No.
Where you're going, I want to bless y'all. You came to my show, I'm blessing my fans.
Exactly.
You know, that's how it's supposed to be.
This shit is in my playlist. It should be on yours.
Exactly.
You know
it's not the how many fans you got or how much are you gonna pay. No, it's the let me curate, create the energy, and put y'all on where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's my opening lineup. So you're making me want to go to your show, man. I have plans that day. God damn.
It's gonna be a beautiful night, man.
We'll see, man. I might end up there. I wasn't planning to be there, but I might be there.
Yeah. I know it says 6 to 10, but I mean the bar's not closing at 10.
Yeah.
Fucking pull up at 1. I'm gonna still be drinking in there.
Okay. Yeah, and I would love to come see you. So we might have to do that. And I think I'm off Monday. So okay, man.
Yeah.
All right. And I haven't seen True Lee live yet.
Oh no. Okay. No. It's special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I know how you perform, so I can look forward to that. But, all right, man.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you for being here, man. I'm grateful you're still here. I love where you're at and what it created. So I don't love that it happened, but I love the outcome. So many blessings, my brother. Hold on. I gotta play outro music, and I feel like I queued something up. So let me not drop the ball here. We gotta go out with style. This is not what I was expecting, but we'll play it.
Okay.
Temptation moves calculated, so much so any misstep take it personal. Let's have a conversation about it.
I'm Jake Asai. For the record, that's Phantom Thrett. We need a thumbnail. Let's pose real quick.
Not quite butterscotch. Bittersweet symphony played on a discreet corner where they can't creep up on us. On the slide, got a sleeve full of miscellaneous tricks unquiet. Passed down by 3 wise guys. Ain't nobody checking for you, yo. Third eye blind. I'm probably out in Kauai. Spur of the moment trip to Toronto.